A single sport that combines the warlike combat of football and the frantic fisticuffs of boxing.
Another good combination. Jackson's hurt again, and Jackson's in trouble.
Put it all together on a sheet of frozen water. And you've got ice hockey fights and big hits.
This is a flat-out fight. They'll be gone for this and another game, those two guys.
Have you heard the one about the fan who went to a boxing match and a hockey game broke out? Well, this free-for-all between Michigan State and Western Michigan proves there is some truth to that joke.
Well, Pitt-Wanacquet and Parker going again. They're going to let him go this time. This is the first real fight we've seen in 2 years. Flat out, helmets off, gloves down, shirts up, equipment falling off. They're gone for a game. The fighting penalty. And Redshaw are starting to swing away here just to the left, and they're going to be gone too. Redshaw is getting beat by Cummins badly. Clark and Pitt-Wanacquet ran out of steam. They're just holding each other and watching the other battle go on.
If that wasn't enough, here are some more examples of hockey gone haywire. These two teams have just finished having it out with each other, but these fellows look like they have some unfinished business to attend to. They're probably just talking about the weather, or maybe they're catching up on the news of the day. Then again, maybe not. It took a while for the officials to separate our two combatants, who were then sent to their respective locker rooms without supper. Now, hockey is unique in that some players actually hone their fighting skills in practice, using their teammates as sparring partners. And if they run out of worthy opponents, they can pick out a fan from the stands to take their frustrations out on. So the next time you're at a hockey game, be ready, because you might be asked to trade punches with your favorite brawler. One player who made a living with his fists was Dave the Hammer Schultz, the main enforcer for the Philadelphia Flyers Broad Street Bullies of the 1970s. Schultz holds the National Hockey League record for the most penalty minutes in one season, and when you listen to Dave describe his approach to the game, it's a wonder he ever got out of the penalty box.
I mean, there's no question, I would think, the most well-prepared guy to drop my gloves. I mean, that was my game plan. I mean, I was supposed to play hockey, and I even scored a couple goals, but I used to spend, for example, Boston Bruins and Terry O'Reilly, who's now their coach. When we were going to play the Boston Bruins, I whipped that guy so many times that afternoon in my mind. I knew exactly what I was doing, and so many times, whoever I was thinking about, O'Reilly, Durbano, there was another number of others, the game would start. I'll never forget, Durbana one time was behind the net. I was at the blue line, and it was like, where are you, Steve? And we just fought, and I knew exactly what I was doing.
Dave Schultz, hockey's premier fight man. Let's visit a place familiar to the Hammer, the penalty box, and let's see what acts of impropriety led these wayward souls to this bad boy's shrine. The penalty box is a special place for those who dare to enter its doors. Special because it creates an unusual bond between these so-called hockey criminals. Whether it be a simple tug of the face mask,
That's a major.
or an attempt to aid a troubled teammate.
And Kramer is not the victim, but he's trying to be the enforcer right now.
These men are willing to sacrifice themselves for the good of the club. They'll take out any opposing threat.
From Strongsville, Ohio. Back it comes to Brett. Brett moving in, and whoa! Flying into the goal, and we're going to get a tripping call.
And if they get caught, so be it.
Get in there.
They'll gladly head to the box, where they can gear up for their next trip to the ice.
Checking for behind is the call that has sent Mogers to the penalty box. Go. You got to go.
Yeah, guys? No, I saw that. Well, you saw the ring, no? Yeah, but hey, Slash is just as bad, okay? What he did was cross-check from the ice. That's it, okay?
And as they search for divine intervention, the men of the box long for their day of goal-scoring glory.
With Kowalski out of the box. He's onside. Kowalski in upstairs. He scores! It's 4-4.
The penalty box, a special place for a special breed of hockey player.
Nobody saw Rick Kowalski come up to the penalty box. Great call by the referee to get the penalty.
It's time now for Hockey Headlines, a look at the way the game used to be. Penalties were definitely the name of the game when the Boston Bruins and the Minnesota North Stars met in an NHL contest in February of 1981. The teams were ready for action and looking to do more than just play hockey. 7 seconds into the game, the first punches were thrown, and there would be many more on this fight-filled night in Boston Garden. By the end of the first period, 12 players had been ejected for fighting, and a record 67 penalties had been called. The clubs ended with over 400 total penalty minutes, 30 of them going to one player. 6 penalty records were set during the game. And that's another hockey headline. Remember the movie Slapshot about that down and dirty hockey team, the Chiefs? Well, their antics were based on the story of the real-life Johnstown Chiefs, a team that's known for its outgoing personalities.
Gets into it with Whitfield. And he's got Whitfield down. He's giving it to him. We've got a fight going on. It's our new boy, Doug Smith. Oh, is he working him over? He dropped Misiak like nothing. There's Oderline on top. I don't know who he's on top of, but he won't get off of him. Oderline's got his elbow right in his face, and now he's punching away at him. Cervantes now gives him a right, another right, an uppercut by Cervantes. Now here's a right by Ottbright, another right by Ottbright. Cervantes now works back with a couple of lefts. That's about the end of it. Now he throws a right and a left and a right, and Bellucci is down.
And that's why Johnstown's hockey team is known as the Fighting Chiefs. Let's take a break from the action to test your brain power with our hockey trivia question. What is the claim to fame of one Billy Couture? Couture, who played for a decade in the NHL as a defenseman for the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens, was suspended from the league for life in 1927 for fighting. Now, you may think that this penalty is pretty harsh, but it may help to know that Couture's victim was a referee. No other NHL player has received such a stiff reprimand. And that's our hockey fight fact for the day. Goaltenders don't do a whole lot of fighting on the ice, but former NHL goalie Bob Froese admits that he wasn't afraid to use his stick when danger lurked nearby.
We had a big guy when we were playing Edmonton. This is back when I played for the Flyers, and he was in front of the net, and it was in a pretty big game, and I knew he wasn't out there to score goals, and he was just out there to screen me and probably try to get me off my game, so I thought I'd have a little fun, and I chopped him in the ankle, and he turned around and looked at me, and he was looking down at me, obviously, and he said, "Try it again." He says, "I just dare you to try it again." So he thought I was going to slash him in his ankle, so he put his stick down trying to block his ankle, so I just casually slipped my stick between his legs.
Aside from goalie sticks, ice hockey players have many hazards to contend with during a game. Take the net, for instance. It's made plenty big, so a puck can fit into it comfortably. But a fully padded hockey forward? I don't think so.
8:17 left in the game. Schooley throws it into the corner. Whoa! Western player went head first into the pipes.
The good thing about the net is that it gives more than the boards do.
Into the Irish end.
I know a couple of days ago, people that broken a pane of glass or one of
The glass may be all right. It's one of the, one of the partitions has fallen that holds the glass, which speaks volumes about the force of that hit we just saw in behind the cage.
Things can get really hairy when there's breaking glass.
Valentine swings it around to the far corner. Mike Stone shoots it back. We got a whistle. We got some glass down. Not only down, but broken.
But perhaps the most dangerous hazard of all is the area known as the opposing team's bench, especially if you're unlucky enough to have fallen into the enemy lair.
Actually, the Bronco that got inside was fine until he got there. Now he's trapped inside the bench. And Steve Petrosky's in there. That is unbelievable.
So whatever you do, please be careful out there, fellas, because you never know what's waiting for you on the ice.
Actually, he was held in. He was just
Let's take a less painful look at hockey rough stuff with comedian Nick Pallo and his friend Stump Worsley.
I wanted to ask you a question that probably people have asked you many a time before. What is an important thing that a good goaltender should have?
Eyesight.
Eyesight, yeah.
Oh, it's true! You always have to keep your eye on the puck.
Always keep your eye on the puck. And I wanted to ask you, is it possible to give us a little example of how you do this?
Sure, you always have to keep your eye on the puck. Now, demonstrating, Nick.
Yes?
Hold the puck at my chest. Now I will keep my eye on the puck. Now, move the puck to my right side. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you.
From classic comedy to classic hits, we turn to the musical masters for our next piece, entitled The Overture of 1812, Collisions. Now, hockey is a team sport, so we've decided to invite everyone to our ice party, a no-holds-barred affair where you're sure to have a smashing good time.
We got a problem now. Should never have happened. Now we got a little pushing and shoving going on as Alex Roberts is being challenged by one of the Michigan State players. I'm not sure that's Messier or whether that is, I think it's Cummins. And Cummins is really upset. Is going to really try and take Kramer apart if he can. But the linesmen are going to get there right away. Kramer came over the... Whoa, what a blast by Stewart. And we're going to get a penalty. Several, perhaps. Well, now they will, as they pry him apart. Quarter. And now the play is whistled out, and Grimshaw is sailing in. Now we're going to get some pushing and shoving going on. Michigan is answering. As I said, Eastwood takes the first man in. Big hit. We have two men. Now we have two separate men. Now we have three. Four are tied up. And it's getting a little bit tense. Surprise. Here we go. Get some now. And they won't let the issue die. Paul Stanton takes the shot. They're ready to go. Perhaps his team gave him more than he anticipated. This is the first little flare-up. I don't think there's anything serious there unless something serious develops from it yet. Week and he's fine now. Quite obviously, he got up ice all right. That was a sprained knee. It's Michigan State player down.
It's clips like these that lead some people to claim that hockey violence has become too widespread. Yet we beg to differ.
There's a couple of guys trying to hog-tie each other down there, but Maloney comes up clean. So does Juranic, and I think that'll be about good.
Today, more than ever, players are working hard to control their tempers.
Paranika had him in what somebody at Iowa State, Oklahoma, or Oklahoma State would call a one-leg takedown.
They're making a conscious effort to become more involved with their communities. And most importantly, they've learned to respect those who officiate their sport.
By Willie. Bukowski has been banged up along the near board. That's the reason for the crowd reaction, of course.
These days, hockey players are led by men of character, the coaches, who have been increasingly more passive in their approach to the game. This new attitude has helped tone down the more aggressive impulses of some fans. So to all those critics out there, we say that the world of ice hockey is not boiling over with brutality, but rather it's cooling off with a new sense of caring and compassion. As we wind down our look at ice hockey fights and big hits, let's get ready to rumble.
Reed Simpson and Marty Savard in a heavyweight tilt down to the near face-off circle. They're going toe-to-toe. It's a pretty good Duke fest.
It is Rendell and Mark Laurie. That's the biggest one we've seen this year, and those fellas are gone. Woo! Atari came up and gave Donnelly a shot, and they are going after it.
That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the ice. Ice Hockey Fights and Big Hits is produced by Steve Rotfeld Productions.